Yeah, it's really
So
interesting.
it's interesting how we see, but we don't see, right? We think we saw ourselves living this life, and then here you are looking at you're in the future of yourself, and you're looking in your past and say, wait a minute, what I think I saw or felt or knew is totally different now.
Yeah.
So when you found yourself connecting the emotion to food or how you felt, and it's coming down, how did you feel? What shifted for you to say, you know what, this is, I need to change this? When did the shift happen, and what was the shift?
Well, I don't think there's one particular moment. Of course, for me, a really big one was not having my period. Like, I wanted it back. And I was also
Mm-hmm.
like, why am I so afraid of eating? Or why am I so afraid to feel? And I think at one point I was also like, I always dieted. I've dieted my whole life. I know what the outcome will be. I know how it will make me feel. What if this time I change it around? I start eating more, I start eating enough, and I just see what happens. And if it doesn't work, I can always go back to dieting. I can always go back to what I know. But what I know isn't making me happy. So there must be something else out there.
I love that.
Like, and also, I think
And
in that sense, Instagram helped a lot because I saw girls who had recovered. I saw girls who had this food freedom that I talked about. And I saw it was possible. And of course, Instagram can also show you a very bad side of things, right?
mhm,
So it really depends on who you follow and what you put your energy into. I was like, if they can have it, why can't I? Like,
yeah,
if they can have that point and if they can recover, why wouldn't I try it? The worst that can happen, it goes wrong. I go back to my diet.
hmm,
And let me tell, I haven't been wanting to go back to my diet. I don't know how I ever did it. Like, and of like, I don't know if you saw Stephanie Buttermore All In, for example. Of course, you're not going to be at the finish line immediately. Like, you have to go through the mud. You have to feel your emotions, the bad, but also the good, because the good emotions come back too, like the happy dancing on the street or
hmm,
having a dinner with your friends, not worrying about what you're eating or how you're going to train it off the next day because you realize that that's not needed. Like, I didn't want to be 80 and look at back at my life and think, yeah, I had a thigh gap, but I
yeah.
canceled all the dinners. No, I want to look back and think, oh yeah, I was the person that danced on the table and
You
had
want
dinners
to
with my friends
enjoy it.
and
You
yeah,
want to be part of your life, not just
yeah,
be on on the side of it. But you mentioned something interesting. It's like, even, Instagram is here, or whatever social platform is there, but you made this decision to seek it for recovery, not seek it to be critical of how you are, because I'm sure, whatever channel you look, or whatever whoever you're following, you can follow everyone that's 100 pounds, or you can follow those who may have been 50 pounds, who went back to their normal 120 pounds or 150 pounds. But the whole thing is, you made the choice of who you chose. So we do have a choice, don't we,
yeah,
of what
you
we
always
follow
have a
on the
choice.
platforms.
I think you always have a choice every day in everything you do. I wanted to say something else, but I forgot it. But yeah, you always have a choice. And for me, the choice was very clear that I didn't want to stay where I was at.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to change something, and you never know if you never try. And I'm also a very curious person. So I always want to, okay, what will happen if I try this? And
Mm-hmm.
what will happen if I try this? And then once you go down that path of really getting to know yourself and discovering yourself, I think it's the best thing you can do for yourself as well, because you value yourself more. You learn to set your own boundaries. You learn to listen to your body, because in the end, all your body is trying to do is keep you alive, and all I was basically trying to do was try to, well, literally kill it by not feeding it enough. So your body is really supposed to be your best friend. You're going to have it for the rest of your life. Do you really want to spend the rest of your life hating it? And then I was like, okay,
Mm.
then I want to see what my body can do. Like, how strong can I get? What crazy things can I do with my body that I wasn't able to do before? So I'm training for a pull-up now, for example, or I started pole dancing just because I'm like, okay, I'm curious. What can my body do? Is this possible? Is this possible? How do I feel when I do this? So more a discovery journey, I would say.
It's interesting how when you speak of your body as if someone different.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's like, let me
yeah,
see what you can do.
yeah, but yeah, it's also me. But I think for me that, yeah, I never saw it like that. But I guess, yeah,
But
because I feel like
of course, it's all you.
yeah, I feel like I am a soul, and I got this body in this life, if that makes
Hmm.
sense. So maybe
So,
that's why
so
I
now you're
say it
taking
like that.
care of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is my home
Could
for
you
this
share?
life.
Yes. You see where how you're sharing it. How, like, I know there's 20 million thousand diets. But when you say diet, like specifically, what does that diet consist of? What type of diet? So those who are saying, okay, diet, well, many of us have done diet. I've done diets, but what do you feel that the type of diet you were doing was literally affecting your body to not have a cycle? If you
I
could
would just
share a typical day of your diet.
I would rather not prefer to say what I ate exactly because I don't want to trigger anyone. But
Oh.
I would eat around 1,200 calories, which is not even enough for a toddler. Just to
Hmm.
give a comparison, I eat almost 3,000 now a day. Uh, so I was just underfeeding it, just not eating enough.
Hmm.
Um, so not
You were making
a specific diet, of course. I've done
you
like
just
detoxes with like the juices and stuff, or like soup diets where you would eat soup for like 3 days.
and it's just not
I've done
healthy
a
for
lot of
long term.
no,
Yeah.
and now it's more like listening to what do I feel like, what does my body want, instead
Hmm.
of like, oh my God, I can only eat 1,000 or 1,200 calories. Like that's not enough to feed
Yeah. It
a
can
little
harm you.
toddler.
It
And
harms.
yeah, even 1,700 calories or 2,000, what they recommend, like because I have a coach and she was helping me to see what's my maintenance calories. And I prefer not tracking calories, but in the beginning I had to because otherwise I would just not eat enough. And then we discovered that they're somewhere on 2,700, 2,800 calories. So
Mm.
that's double plus more than what I
That you
used
were
to
doing.
eat. So
Yeah. Because
it's a
it
lot of
kicks in.
fun.
Yeah, but you know what, like you're saying, it kicks your body into this survival mode. So instead of losing the weight, sometimes you retain the weight
Yeah.
from not eating properly. So
Yeah.
and that's a study in itself, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
learning what your body, as you mentioned about what does it want?
Yeah.
How do you feed your own body so that it can not only be just functioning, but to thrive, to be able to do, as you said, different activities and exercises and just be healthy. And I think
Yeah.
it's a journey, learning what your body needs. Because, think about it, an infant needs something different from a 2-year old,
Yeah.
who would need something different from a 5-year old, who would need something different from an 18-year old, who would need something different from a 40-year old and a 60-year old. So it's like
Yeah.
there are different times on your journey of how you're eating, your nutrition journey of how you're eating. That it makes a difference in paying attention what your body needs at that time. And
Yeah.
so thanks for sharing that. I know this is not something that you really want to dig all the time and share with the world. But when you were sharing about how you became a poet and how it led you to this whole, like, how did this whole process lead you to becoming an author?
Yeah. Yeah, it was basically sharing my problems, though. Sharing my recovery. So the poems are not only the bad days, but also the good days, the
Mhm.
relapses, just to show other people like you're not alone. It's normal to relapse. It's normal to have a day off. It's also normal to finally feel happy again or to wonder. But it's worth it too, and you will feel better and things will get better. But you have, yeah, the only way out is through.